always say, well, this is what she loves to do. And I said, well, what if she came to you and said she loved smoking marijuana? Would you just look at me and say, well, she loves it. She loves the way that it makes her feel. She loves how she is with her friends with that. And I'm just going to let her do it. You wouldn't do that. Or
Right.
she loves not going to school. She likes to stay home. She'd much rather sleep. You know what I mean? Like they just somehow sports becomes one of these conversations where they love it is enough of an excuse to justify the wrong, and it really is a wrong. But I always, like I said, if you give them the extreme analogy in some other situation and then say, well, what if they told you that they really liked it and that this was their favorite part of the day? Does it matter what it would be? Or just because it's a sport and because it allows you the ability to kind of justify it? I mean, my daughter, a lot of times I made her do stuff. There were times when it was like, no, you're gonna play soccer. And she was always like, Dad, I don't really love soccer. I don't love the soccer girls. I don't love the whole soccer thing. I'm like, I get it. But you're going to play soccer in the fall and you're going to play soccer in the spring and you're going to get outside and you're going to run and you're going to kick a ball because I know that down the road, that's going to be good for you. And as I said, I look at it now and think it was good for her. In the same way, I remember people saying she picks up bad passes in her skates really well. And I'm like, yeah, that's because she plays soccer. She's very comfortable with things being in her feet from her time playing soccer. And people would be like, well, she's not afraid of contact. She doesn't mind getting run into. I'm like, well, that's because in judo, you fight other kids. You go out on a mat and you fight another. She was fighting boys when she was 8 and 9 years old and beating boys at judo. And I mean, these are all experiences. I always look at it and think, if you really said, hey, my goal is I want my kid to be a great college athlete, then I would say then the key is sampling. The key, you're going about it completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part I think that the parents don't get. I think they look at it and feel like, hey, I'm trying to do the best thing here, because even if they said this is what my kid really wanted, my kid wanted to be an Olympic ice hockey player. She's not at that level. She's not in the top 80, let's say, but she's still good enough to play professionally. And to help her to achieve her dream, I had to sometimes push her in directions that she didn't necessarily want to go.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, but with like the parents who choose early specialization for their kid, sometimes they'll be like, well, at least we're strength training, that can count as a second sport and give them a chance against injuries. What would you say to something like that? I mean, obviously strength training is important, but does that make up for the second sport and just sampling other things, or is that not
That's
enough?
an interesting thing. I would almost, if someone said that to me and that was their rationale, I would be like, okay, that's a pretty intelligent rationale.